Hi, everyone. Well, today I get to listen to a new band, a new piece of music, one of those which I could get confused between which one is the band and which one is the music. Because I have in front of me Imagine Dragons' Radioactive. Well, if I weren't accustomed now to the format that Vlad gives me, I would have thought that Radioactive actually would make a pretty good band name. Maybe somebody out there ought to start a band, Radioactive. Anyway, I understand the band is Imagine Dragons. Kind of a cool name, actually. And the song is Radioactive. So let's see what I have to read about it, and then we'll listen. Imagine Dragons are an American pop rock band formed in 2008 based in Las Vegas, Nevada. So this is one of the most recent bands. I've listened to a few past 2008, I think, but we're really moving towards newer bands. The band first gained exposure with the release of their single It's Time, followed by their debut album Night Visions in 2012, which resulted in the chart-topping singles Radioactive and Demons. Rolling Stone named Radioactive, which held the record for most weeks charted on the Billboard Hot 100, the biggest rock hit of the year. Hold on. Radioactive held the record for most weeks charted on the Billboard Hot 100. That one almost flew by my eyes too quickly to recognize it. MTV called them the year's biggest breakout band, and Billboard named them their breakthrough band of 2013 and biggest band of 2017, and placed them at the top of their Year in Rock rankings for 2013, 2017, and 2018. Imagine Dragons topped the Billboard year-end Top Artists Duo Group category in 2018. This has me kind of, I'm thinking, I should have at least heard this name somewhere. I really haven't. Even though this is my era. Sorry, guys. Imagine Dragons have won 3 American Music Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, 1 Grammy Award, 1 MTV Video Music Award, and 1 World Music Award. Imagine Dragons have sold more than 74 million albums and 65 million digital songs worldwide, making them one of the world's best-selling music artists. They have also earned 160 billion streams across music platforms. That's a sign of a really modern band, because since when did streaming become a metric? They were the most streamed group of 2018 on Spotify, the first rock act to have 4 songs, Radioactive, Demons, Believer, and Thunder, to surpass 1 billion streams each. And the only group in RIAA history to have 4 songs certified higher than Diamond. According to Billboard, Believer, Thunder, and Radioactive were the 3 best-performing rock songs of the 2010s. Musically, Radioactive is an electronic rock and alternative rock song with elements of dubstep. In a 2021 podcast interview called The Turning Point, Dan Reynolds revealed that after almost a decade, he had realized that the lyrics were actually about him not giving up hope after losing faith in Mormonism. Well, that's interesting. I guess sometimes it happens like that. An artist creates a piece of music or a work of art. Let's keep it general here. It comes out from deep within. They are impelled to create. They feel the creative urge. It comes, maybe they work hard at it, maybe it just flows out of them, regardless. And then it is only later, much later, that perhaps they realize really where that came from. I think sometimes they never realize where it truly came from, and that is one of the mysteries of art, isn't it? It's also one of the beautiful things, and why I insist that it is entirely appropriate and good for each of us to relate to art as it speaks to us, regardless of whether the artist consciously intended a certain message or a certain thing within that art. And even if what it says to us is quite opposite or out of line with the publicly stated message of the piece. So here's one of those examples of Dan Reynolds. It was almost a decade later that he realized the lyrics were actually about him not giving up hope after losing his faith in Mormonism. Radioactive received 2 Grammy Awards nominations for Record of the Year and Best Rock Performance, winning the latter. Not just nominated, but won. This is a big band and a big piece of music. So let's see how it sounds to me.
Waking up to ash and dust, I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up.
This really has a heavy crash, thump, thump. The drums are not really in your face, but they're somehow underneath everything, really, really wide and deep and strong.
Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. I'm radioactive, radioactive. I'm radioactive, radioactive. Raise my flag, down my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose.
And here's this arpeggiated accompaniment style, which we heard at the beginning. Let's see. Let's back up and listen to the beginning just for a second. So it's drums, but it's kind of gentle and almost folk style, isn't it? And the way he's singing, oh, you almost wonder, am I about to hear some, I don't know, Central European, Eastern European folk song or something? Because we have the accompaniment doesn't sound like from that part of the world, but that choral, whoa, it could totally fit into somewhere Central Eastern Europe. And then to have this accompaniment, again, it conjures the idea of folk style music. But it doesn't have to. It's a very gentle introduction to this whole power sound that comes later.
Radioactive, radioactive. Raise my flag, down my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it.
The voice. Well, just as the drums are giving this big, full shape to the piece, I guess, so also the singer is handling the syllables in a way that works very well. It's not too much emphasis on every syllable, but For example, where he's saying, it's a revolution, I suppose. When he's saying, I suppose, I noticed the way he's saying it because it's as if the way he was enunciating and singing the word itself carried weight in the artistic expression of the piece. Let's go back and listen to that again.
Raise my flag, down my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa. I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones. Enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. I'm radioactive, radioactive. I'm radioactive, radioactive. All systems go. The sun hasn't died. Deep in my bones, straight from inside. I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones. Enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. I'm radioactive, radioactive. I'm radioactive, radioactive.
It's interesting hearing this piece, knowing that it's such a big piece as far as popularity and it has a quite nice sound to it. I'm listening to the texture, the color, the dynamics, the shape of it. It's quite predictable. It feels like it's all in the order it's supposed to be. There's nothing really to shock us or disturb us in that regard. There's this feeling of inevitability, this power that flows through, although it's not an aggressive sound. And perhaps that's one of the things that really makes it have a broad appeal. It doesn't sound too cheap, although it's very accessible. It's easy to sing along with, but even the singability of it is nicely set, meaning there's enough melodic shape to make it interesting and not just too much whoa, oh, whoa. That would get a bit dull, wouldn't it? And it would start to feel juvenile. But the shape of it, everything feels like it's been crafted to have a perfect balance, easily relatable, broad appeal, a good sweep current of sound and flow and strength to the piece, underlying strength. At the same time, you have the softness, you have the ebb and flow, the rise and fall of the melody, the little moments in the piece where the sound reduces enough to give us a break. And as I said, it's recorded in a way that does not sound hard or harsh. There's a warmth to it. It's almost inviting, which is interesting considering the topic. I'm radioactive. In other words, I don't know how warm and inviting that should be. But anyway, musically, it is warm and inviting and kind of like current that just carries you along. But then again, thinking about this idea that it is at its core about not giving up hope after the world you knew blew up, fell apart, became radioactive, however you want to express it, this warmth is appropriate, this warmth in the sound, this strength in the sound. In other words, there is, even though you might feel like it's the end of the world, in a way, you have this inner sense that it's not. And the music itself has an inner sense, inner feel that it is not the end of the world. There is this warmth, there is this support from the drums, from the bass instruments, the smoothness of the voice. There's this, it's as if, even though singing, whoa, like, oh, whoa, the whole world is falling apart. Oh, whoa, radioactive. Oh, whoa, it's the apocalypse. You know, all these things that we feel like should be, take our breath away, take our words away, speechless in horror. It's not a piece that is speechless in horror. It's more like, okay, we're singing whoa, because it is rather quite a memorable event, impressive in its broadness, but there is a world beyond it, and we have hope for that world beyond it. Well, of course, okay, giving up on a religion, you might feel like, what is there now? But it doesn't have to be just about losing faith in a religion. It can be about anything in your world. It can be about the entire world as we know it. Until humanity no longer exists, there is hope for humanity in this world. And it's kind of like, that's the general vibe the music is projecting, isn't it? Where if we're reading the lyrics, we could, it's reminding me, if I just read the lyrics, it reminds me of what is that one? The sun, we did it with Carl in the, it wasn't upside down sun, black hole sun. Right, it reminds me of black hole sun. It could easily have been set like black hole sun in this manner of, this world is hopeless and it's the sun is a black hole. We're all burning, scorching here. There's no way out. But instead, the overall, as I said, the thrust of the piece, the vibe that it gives off is so different, so much more comforting. And it's interesting to see kind of the same topics handled by different bands in different eras, and see how the thought and the attitude has changed, shifted. And the idea that, okay, I'm radioactive, but whoa, okay, there's going to be a future. Who knows what the radioactive future will look like, but obviously we're still here. So welcome to the new age, everyone. And that's kind of how it feels. Well, there we have my first listen to Imagine Dragons. That's the name of the band. Imagine Dragons, Radioactive. And it was interesting. I enjoyed the experience, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it and maybe what you all have to add to the conversation. So leave your comments below and I'll be following. See you all soon.